I've escaped from the simulator and I'm here in Maastricht for InterClassic and, of course, Sim Formula Europe. And we're going to be taking you guys through a full tour of Sim Formula Europe, where you'll get to see all the sim rigs, all the sim racing equipment, and basically you'll get the experience of being here without being here yourselves. So fasten your seatbelts and get ready for an extreme full tour. But before we start, remember you need to subscribe so you can unsubscribe, and also you can indeed click that like button, but it's entirely optional. So let's get on with Sim Formula Europe. So let's first take a look what we've got here. KNAF Digital, probably said that totally wrong, and we've got some Gran Turismo with the Fanatec CSL DD. We've got some Dirt Rally, or not Dirt Rally, WRC it is now, being played there, again with the Fanatec wheel. And people experiencing the more sort of introductory side of sim racing there, the accessible side of sim racing, what works on console and PC. The crowd there screaming as someone drives into them, but that's part of the joy of sim racing. Nice little booth there. What do you guys do?
We organise a national championship for the Dutch people.
Okay, Dutch people national championship that you organise. Nobody else, only Dutch people.
It's open, but like all the communication is in Dutch, so you have to translate it yourself if you're foreign.
Okay, so Dutch national championship, but you have to translate it if you're foreign. Thank you very much. We've got here a little rotating turntable, a Thrustmaster DD Joy. The T818 here, and of course the new Thrustmaster T598 direct actual drive DD. Interesting thing with this Thrustmaster wheel is that it is actual drive, which means that the motor and the stator and the motor are actually angled differently. So if you imagine like two CDs side by side, that's what's causing the torque, whereas this is the other way around. You have a shaft down the middle and the magnets around it. Arguments for pros and cons with either solution there. Both can work equally as well. This actually feels really nice. We had a chance to use it at SimRacing Expo. They've got it on the console here with the Formula 1 game, and it's also quite a good price for that Thrustmaster wheelbase. And they also have a whole bunch of wheel rims there. So this is like a nice little Thrustmaster booth setup. So you've got the Thrustmaster Formula rim on this one. And the nice thing with Thrustmaster wheels is you get really good, there's some of the more affordable wheel rims, but still have all the buttons, the features, and of course they're all licensed as well. So it's a really good, especially on consoles, a really nice entry into the high-end equipment space. The actual drive DD that's on that rig there, they do a really good price kit that comes with the wheel, the DD base, and the pedals, kind of like that Fanatec F1 Esports bundle, which I think is really nice. It's a T300, guys. I had one of these for years. That's a great price wheel to get into things. Normally people go from like a G293, T300, and then they get lost in DD land. So this is simgear.shop. Got some butt kickers there, tactile transducers, and some headsets. These guys sell a lot of flight sim and sim racing equipment. We have Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. We've got 2024. We've got someone doing loop the loops in an F14. They're fully in control of the aircraft over the Grand Canyon. Fantastic flying. Thrustmaster pendular rudder pedals. We've got these at home. They're fantastic. And we've got the Thrustmaster stick on that. And it's really nice to see. You've got the sim racing. You've got the flight sim. I think it makes more sense with these sorts of trade shows and affairs and events. It makes a lot of sense to have both flight sim and driving sim. We've got here a magical Kirith.
The biggest flight simmer.
Biggest flight simmer.
Yeah.
What are you doing here, Kirith?
I've come to announce the initiation of the Clickbait Defence League, of which we're the founding members, aka the CDL. And basically, I think we are the best people to make sure on YouTube there's no sim racing clickbait.
No clickbait.
Yeah. So it's clickbait defense league. People can do hashtag CDL, and then.
Aren't you the king of clickbait?
I'm the king of. So it's a bit of a PR rebranding, but this is not live, right, or being recorded.
This is live.
Okay. It's basically I want to be the king of defense against clickbait.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I thought you'd be the perfect partner.
We'll start the clickbait, the League of Defence. I'm lost. I'm confused with this already. I don't know what's going on.
But we've done like loads of meetings on this. We've been speaking about it for like a year.
We've been working on this for 5 years in secret. This is the whole point.
I've come all the way here just to speak to you, to launch it. I've been trying to get you.
Interestingly, actually, it is quite interesting. I found that a lot of people, they call stuff clickbait that's not clickbait, in the sense that a thumbnail can be hyperbole, can be a bit annoying, but if the video is about the thumbnail, even if it's hyperbole, it's not really. If a thumbnail makes you click on it because you're annoyed, that's not clickbait. Clickbait is when a thumbnail is like a beautiful lady and then the video's a steering wheel.
I think clickbait, yeah. I think because we're kind of OGs, right? Like we would think back in the day when you see like a thumbnail of like, oh, it's this football match, I'm going to watch it, and then it's just like a screen of like, go to this link and download a virus. Like, oh, okay, that's clickbait. I think it's a dangerous slope if you're like, oh, as long as you talk about it. I think some people don't like certain topics being talked about. Like, I don't know what your views are on Assetto Corsa Evo, but I can pretty much guarantee they're going to be controversial. I would suspect, right? And some I'm not knowing what they are, but I suspect a lot of people won't like you having that view, because just the fact you have that view is against their view.
There's definitely a lot of people on YouTube where if you're critical of anything that people are fans of, the things that you say that are negative, don't matter if they're true, false, or whatever, then that's going to cause an argument.
So the thing is, I don't think this really affects us, but if there's maybe YouTubers that get started and they don't want to make these videos because they don't want to kind of have that antagonism, whatever, then you won't have as much of a space to have these discussions, because actually that's where you have really interesting discussions. And then you're like, okay, what about, is this, like the throttle thing in Evo? It's like, okay, well, let's have a discussion about it. But if you're going to say we can't talk about the throttle issue in Evo because it's early access, for example, then we're just not going to have a discussion about, is it actually a meaningful thing, should it be something that's a priority or not?
This has gone from a clickbait discussion to the philosophy of content topics. We will have an interview. I tell you what, Kerith, I'm trying to do a walkthrough video here, and you've ruined it already. Derailed.
The announcement of the CDL, the clickbait
No, that is happening as well. We will do a talk later on. You're here all day.
Yeah.
We can have a discussion. We can talk about some interesting YouTube stuff. So look out for that, guys.
Assetto Corsa Evo, because I can't see it anyway here, and I came here to play Assetto Corsa Evo and I can't see it.
We'll do that later. I'm going to continue with this tour, and I'll catch you later.
I'm sure someone's going to have it on a rig somewhere, and I'm going to find it.
Tour derailed.
Yeah. That was your...
Good to see you. I'll see you in a minute.
Yeah, I'll see you.
Right.
Your thing's wonky, by the way.
I know, it's always wonky. Yes, this is how it is. It's fine.
You saw the video, it's not
The whole video's going to be at an angle. Right, see you in a bit. So we now have, over here, so as I say, it's really nice to combine, I think, flight sim with the driving simulators at these things. And there's actually a trade show soon in Chicago that's going to be flight sim, VR, and driving simulator. So I'm really looking forward to that. But let's take a look at this booth on the left here. We have the RaceRoom booth. Call it the RaceRoom Track Time RaceRoom booth. We have a nice RaceRoom D-shaped rim here, the B24 SC B16-USB. Catchy name, it makes me want to buy it. Starting at €549. I'll take 6 of them. We've got some nice displays here from the 4 and 5 inch RaceRoom dashboards, SimHub support, LED lights. It's like Christmas. They're really bright. I'm almost blinded by these lights. We have the original F64 SC/USB V3 Asher GT wheel rim. I actually quite like the LED lighting that they've got on this display here, with each wheel having its own little coloured platform that's changing. But you can, with this booth, obviously, nice thing with these sorts of trade shows is you can come and put your hands on the different wheel rims, have a feel with them, see if they like them, see if you like the tactile feel of the buttons. These Assetto racing wheel rims are obviously very high quality, legit, silly sim racing equipment really. For €1,500, you know, you're talking don't care about money territory, or probably too far in the sim racing hobby territory. But it's nice that they've got a presence here. And Martin Asher is, of course, an absolute legend. We go nice little display here. You can customise your wheels now with your own logo. Really make it whatever you want. If you're spending the money, you can get whatever you want to have. Track time rigs over here. So actually, it's quite interesting. You've got the track time rigs with the LED lights on them. So again, if you're at an event, or you know, if you're using these for promotional stuff, or if you're Santa Claus, you can have a nice glowing sim rig, which is decent. It's quite novel actually. Not really seen many T-slot rigs that have LED lights mounted into the side of them, and it definitely does make them really stand out, which is cool. This guy's in RaceRoom. Track time partnered with RaceRoom. And RaceRoom recently had quite a big update to its physics. Year or so as well, had an update to its force feedback. Really good netcode in RaceRoom, really solid driving, and one of the best hot lap modes. Mr. T Fart in 6th place there. Somewhat of an unfortunate shortening of his name if you're English, but he's doing well. 6th place, he's doing well.
That's not my name.
It's not his name, he's denying that he is the Teeth Heart.
I'm not a fart.
No, he's not the Fart.
My name is Jabur.
Sorry?
It's a different name.
Okay, he's
It's not my name.
it's not his name, he's denying it, but that's awesome. RaceRoom, again, yeah, I say the hot lap mode, really good. If you look here actually, you can see it on this rig, you can see the exclamation mark for where the previous person broke or where you broke on your last lap. So in RaceRoom, it's really nice as a way to have the racing line is the previous lap, or previous best lap, and you can see what you did, and then you can see where you broke, and to then push it the next lap. Again, RaceRoom has so many features that a lot of people aren't aware of that are really, really awesome for getting better at racing. And definitely, I would say RaceRoom probably has one of the best hot lap modes of any of the simulators. I'm actually scared to boot it up because I know if I load into it, I will be on it for many, many hours trying to get to the top of the scoreboard, or at least the top 7. Those are the only positions that matter. So, quickly moving on, we now have the Cooler Master section here with the awesome Dynex rigs. We should have a separate video on these as well, so check that out. But these rigs are fantastic. You can change these rigs from a sort of GT position to a Formula position just by moving it from a pivot point. Probably see it on this rig a bit better. There's a pivot point. Don't know how clear that is, but that just allows you to quickly switch rig from GT to Formula. And even more fancy though, if we just look over here, we have the rig set up with the Sigma Integrale DK2 actuators. So you get one actuator for each corner of the rig, so each wheel and each suspension has its own actuator. So whilst you're driving, you can feel what each tyre's doing, and all the bumps on the track, Brands Hatch bumps there, look at that into T1. On the limit, are they going to make it? No, they're into the wall, and there you go, dead. So that's why you want the motion simulation. She should have been thrown out of the simulator, really, to make it even more realistic. But triple screen there as well with the Cooler Master monitors. Cooler Master do make monitors. They do a whole host of stuff. Cooling equipment, monitors, sim rigs. It's absolute madness. In terms of the equipment on there, we've got a really nice GSI wheel rim, and we've got I think it's a Simucube with the Cooler Master branding on it, and we've got the Hausenfeld sprint pedals. But this rig is absolutely fantastic fun to drive on. Look out for our additional video on that coming very soon. But there you go, the Cooler Master section here. We've got some Cooler Master reps taking pictures of us. Smile. We're good, thanks. There we go. So Simucube on this as well. Look at this the Simucube active pedals. So obviously you can configure these pedals however you want. Force feedback pedals, you can have rumble on them, you can have whatever resistance you want, you can change the springiness of it. It's literally a servo motor attached to a pedal. I think active pedals in general are definitely the sort of future of sim racing pedals, because well, why wouldn't you want a pedal where you can completely adjust whatever you want it to feel like? And really interestingly, actually, as we go and look at the Simucube booth, looks like they're an airport. You can buy some plane tickets somewhere here, get your luggage carted off. Here we go. Look, we've got their Simucube stuff here. So whilst we look at their Simucube wheel rim, the X29, we've got the passive throttle, which is nice because if you're buying an active pedal, you probably only really want it on your brake unless you're totally crazy and you've got lots of money to spend, so you can just get the non-active throttle. And then we have the Active Pedal Pro, which is a slightly cheaper version of the Active Pedal Ultimate. The Active Pedal Pro just came out last year, actually. But, so, interestingly, with the Active Pedal, at Sim Formula Expo here, they have a demo set up with the Last Garage. I'm not sure if I can find it, but the Last Garage is a brand new simulator. We'll talk about it in a bit, and we've got some videos of that as well, so check those out. But they've set a demo up somewhere, I can't find it, but they do have a demo with the Last Garage where the brake fade is simulated so that you can feel, as you're driving, the brakes fading through the active pedal, reflecting that brake fade. So again, so the active pedal enables some really interesting additional elements of simulation that you just couldn't have with passive pedals. Maybe they're annoying parts of simulation, but they are parts of simulation. Who doesn't enjoy the joy of brake fade? Of course, you also have the aspect of ABS, and you can also send some signals for like G-forces, and basically as they add more and more telemetry features to it, there will be more things that you can get with active pedals and more options. So I'm really excited to actually see like SimMagic have an active pedal come in, Moser have an active pedal come in, and then of course you've got the Simucube active pedal. So I'm really, really excited for that. I think it's one of the areas of sim racing hardware that's definitely growing and pushing things forwards more than the DD wheelbases, which are sort of settled now in a very good state with the DD wheels, but I'm not sure there's not a huge amount more they can do with DD wheels other than lower the price and maybe do some like telemetry driven force feedback for the actual force feedback on the DD motor. But other than that, the hardware is really really solid now with DD wheelbases. Look at this, he's ponying it around in Assetto Corsa on the limit. Fantastic stuff. So Simucube with a huge booth that looks like an airport terminal. You have to try the active pedals at some point if you haven't. Here we have a GSI rig set up. Is this an actual GSI simulator?
Yeah, it's a RaceRoom, a company that produces cockpits in Italy, and we have a partnership with GSI. We are together here at the Sim Formula Europe, and we are very proud of this configuration because it's a perfect match for Formula cockpits.
And what's the real rim that you're running on that at the moment?
Yes. We are running some discounts for the event. We are running a 10% discount with the SFE25 code that you can redeem online.
Awesome. So it's a nice compact rig, a nice way for GSI to show their wheel rims in action. Obviously GSI has all the LED lights, and their rigs are some of the really nice rigs on the industry at the moment. I mean, they're up there. They're sort of in that top. I think you've got the Asher, Bavaria SimTech, and GSI are some of the really respected rigs, especially in terms of design and the premium, super mega premium nature of them. Just have a little look over here at the Apple Store-esque table presentation that they've got going on. Nice way. Again, you get an opportunity here at Sim Formula Expo. You get an opportunity to pick the wheels up, see what they feel like in your hands, give them a fiddle, see if you like them, and then decide if your bank has enough money in it to absorb the impact of buying this equipment. But they do look really nice, the GSI wheels. I think they're a bit, for me personally, they're a little bit sort of on the overkill side of sim racing equipment. I'd rather spend this amount of money myself on maybe like some glider lessons, or going outside, or extra tea bags. But you know, if you've got surplus cash and you like racing and you like fancy wheels, maybe GSI is the way that you want to go. And you can't deny they do look really quite nice. So we're continuing on here. We've got the other GSI rig. Quick look at that. Beautiful. It's exactly the same as the one we saw. Over to the other side, guys. We're slaloming through Sim Formula Europe here. We're actually, to give you an idea of the venue, this is actually a huge, it's like a theatre building, and down here there's a theatre, a stage in the middle with theatre seats either side, and this is sort of like the actual entry to the theatre area, which they then, Sim Formula Europe has taken over and turned into a sim racing trade show. But it's actually such an awesome building. I do like a bit of architecture, especially some nice modern architecture. Look at that skylight of the fog that's occurring, but less architecture and more sim rigs. And we'll take a look here at the SimLab stuff they've got over here. We, of course, using the SimLab P1X at home. SimLab have their pedals now. I've not used them too much to really say. I had a brief go on them. They felt like nice pedals. I can't really say too much about them because I haven't used them for the many hours that are required to actually do a decent review. Look at these wraparound screens they've got though. It's you're actually fully surrounded. So the driver's head is here, and so if they look left or right, or even their whole vision is going to be able to see around them. It's basically a surround display. Probably the closest thing to VR without it being VR, or the closest thing to having like a full projector setup without having to have a giant, mental sized room. So an absolutely bonkers sim rig. And then of course SimLab have their new direct drive wheelbases, which is still kind of covered up. There's some gaffer tape on it. That's how you know it's still in development. They're still working on the firmware, the drivers, the software, and how it all works. And I think they're still. You haven't locked down the hardware yet, have you, entirely, for the wheelbases? The SimLab wheelbases, yes. The hardware is still in development?
It's still in development. It's prototype, what we've got here. This one is the 35 Newton meter. And it's indeed wrapped up. Somebody was pushing yesterday on it and it broke, so we needed to tape it a little bit.
I think it makes it look more experimental and more exciting. You should ship a taped version.
Future version.
Yeah.
A sort of rod race idea of a wheelbase.
It's more legit. I mean, real like track day cars will normally have tape on them somewhere. So.
Yeah.
But
it's an idea.
Yeah, it's an idea that will be ignored. Thank you. But yeah, so really interested to see how these develop. Things are changing with them, evolving, and that's another company coming into the space with a 35 Newton meter wheelbase. So if you want your wrists to be pulled off from your arms, could be a good choice to go for. Really nice. I've only had a brief go on the SimLab DD motor, and it just felt super duper smooth. What you typically find with SimLab equipment, to be honest, just really good quality, really nice guys that work at this company. Can't really go wrong. We got a Overtake Michael here in his. Hang on, Gran Turismo. This is Sim Formula, not Gran Turismo Formula.
Yeah, we also have Gran Turismo rig even there.
Okay, tell you what, Michael, we're going to come over to the Overtake booth as we work our way through, and I'll catch you there. Maybe we can ask you some questions.
Yes.
And that was a German-style interview there, incredibly dynamic, See you in a bit. So, another SimLab booth here, SimLab rig. We have, at home I have the SimLab P1X, as I say. Really nice. T-slot, can't go wrong. This is a bit of a mess of cables. What are these power sockets? European power sockets, 2 holes. Where's my proper plug? If there's, look, UK's pretty rubbish for a lot of things, but I have to say, biscuits and power sockets, that's where the British shine, and that's it. That's where it stops. But I'll take it. I'll take the socket pride. We've got some. He's driving on the limit here. Look at that. He's got it. It's the F3 car in iRacing. Actually, quite a nice car to drive in iRacing. Really quite forgiving. A nice little bit of slip on it, especially on high-speed tracks. Weirdly, in some ways, some of the older cars in iRacing are a lot more fun to drive than the newer cars. But that's how the cookie crumbles. SimLab pedals there again. Not a bad display from SimLab. Oh, the SimLab seat as well. Take a look at that. Beautiful bucket seat. Looks quite nice in light blue. That, though, is the first part of the of Sim Formula Expo. We're going to keep going. I'm trying to make this as quick and snappy as possible, guys. Let's show some stupid boiled egg face. So, that's the first sector of Sim Formula Expo. Really nice, and I think it's really good at Sim Formula Expo that you get a good chance to actually try things out. Saturday, there was quite a few more people than today, which is Sunday. Friday, this is a Thursday. It's got Thursday and Friday as well. And again, that Thursday and Friday, not so many people. So again, really good chance to try things out. But also on Thursday and Friday, they have like seminars and they have some esports stuff, and they have esports competitions that you yourself can take part in. So you can win prizes, or even if you're not driving, you have an opportunity to win things, which is really nice. You can really get involved. And as you can see behind us here, we have the start of the InterClassics car show. So if you like sim racing, but you also like cars, and obviously the best cars are the old cars, you can do the sim racing thing, but you can also do the car thing. So it's really nice how you've got this trade show, sim trade show, and the classic car trade show, and they sort of go together really, really well. And I like that. I think it's a good option for sim racing shows to mix things up with real car shows. And one of the things with something like the InterClassics, they're just parked cars, you know. you can't really fully experience them, you know, and you obviously can't drive them. So it's nice to have simulators with that, so you can actually get some kind of active experience. And especially, I think, for kids and stuff that come to these things, they can jump on some simulators rather than just be stood looking at cars. However, with that little pause in the rig action, as I adjust the lens there, we can now take a look at the Overtake booth here. Let's see what's going on here. I'm going to flip you back round from boiled egg view to frontal view. We have here Rene Butler's race car. It's obviously been repaired. There he is, look at that. It's clearly, I mean, normally it's missing the bumper. He must have like cleaned it.
Missing bumpers only on Clios.
He's cleaned it up, obviously. He's just lying. It was smashed up. Roll cage is actually not going to pass the FIA test. That's been tested fully on its roof. This guy, one of the worst drivers in the history of, I mean, can't really describe him as a driver, more like just a chimpanzee that pushes pedals and steering wheels.
Still made it further than you, though.
That might be true, but still, nice to have his car here. And nice to have the Overtake booth. So Overtake, Rene, I know he's trying to actually help someone. No help for them.
What's up?
What has Overtake been doing here? What could they expect if they came here? What would they expect to find at the Overtake booth?
Basically, we're just hanging out with the community. We show them different sim rigs. As you know, we don't produce any of them or sell any of them, so you can try out different setups. We talk about what might be your first setup. Not you got one, but obviously people, if they want to start the hobby, we try to help them figure out what to maybe buy, hang out, where to go. Obviously, saying Overtake is a great community, so join us for that. And that's kind of it. You can grab free drinks. You can hang out with you most of the time because you're here all the time. So that's basically it. That's our booth. You're part of it.
And how much do you regret having had to have talked and met René?
He's a nice guy, so...
Super lucky.
How much did he pay you?
we didn't talk about that.
Okay, well, so ask for a few hundred.
More.
There we go. So,
I own this car now.
that's very nice of you to donate. You're the lucky winner of a race car. How do you feel?
Yeah, thank you for my family and...
I don't have to trailer it back then. That's great.
Right. On that note, we're going to continue on.
drive it on the highway.
On that note, we're going to continue with the tour. But thanks for that. Nice to chat with you there. So, Overtake booth competitions. They've got rigs set up. They've got giveaways, and their mission is, of course, to help ruin people's lives by getting them into sim racing. Doesn't matter if you're old, if you're young, if you're hairy or bold, male or female, whatever. Doesn't matter. Sim racing can ruin your life, and that is what is beautiful about it. We've got the Red Bull fridge there, fantastic if you want to get high on caffeine. Always good to help you drive faster. We've got some, look at this hand gestures here. Can we see a demonstration of the, oh, that's going well. He's following the coaching well.
Yeah. Right, straight up, left. Right.
I'm amazed at this. There's a kid in the booth. I'm not filming them, obviously, because it's a child, but their feet. Oh, look, we film the feet. They can barely reach the pedals. It's amazing. He's doing well. Nice one. So, Overtake booth, giveaways, instruction, despair, and sadly, René Butler. What a terrible thing to have at Sim Formula. That's actually really good there. So, nice little Overtake stand. We have some weird Irish guy here. What's this Irish? What's this? Hang on, someone's selling children's books. What's this?
I hide behind my $14.99 book.
Oh.
That you can buy on over here. Look, here's the QR code if you want to buy it. I'm hiding behind
You're covering the QR code with your thumb, you idiot. There you go, guys. You can take a picture of the screen, and you can teach your children how to ruin their lives with sim racing.
Yes.
Through the S is for sim.
Would you like
racing.
to see a page?
Yes, it shows.
O is for Overtake.
G is for Game of Muscle, I hope.
I'll read O is voor overtake. Oh no, it's oversteer. Sorry, it must be the other version that has that. Oversteer is als je met een auto gaat glijden en de achterkant van de auto glijdt links en rechts. Als auto's driften, dan zijn ze de hele tijd aan het oversteren. En het ziet er heel tof uit. En het is ook heel leuk, maar het is wel heel gevaarlijk. And important, 10% goes to Make-A-Wish. So €1.50 from every sale.
Surely, after someone's read that book, the wish they will be making is that they don't have to do any sim racing.
And a top tip, a usage suggestion: get your kids to ask your partner to read it to them, and then just sit in the corner with some popcorn. It's hilarious.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that little introduction there, Lawrence. It's nice to see you here.
Thank you so
and
much.
I've been harassing him, and he's been harassing me, and it's been a good
Don't
time.
tell the organisers that I set up a little mini stand.
Do you know what? Hang on, let me turn this around. Guys, I've been like sat in the corner doing stuff with other people, and then I'll look over and I'll just see Lawrence with like a crowd of children, and he'll be like just flogging his book. It's his turn. And because there's so many kids with people that have come to the InterClassics show, they're like younger kids. Lawrence has then just got this captive audience, and this has turned into the best marketing event that Lawrence could have gone to for his sim
Show this to
racing
your
book.
dad. There you go.
Yeah. Just telling children to force their parents to buy it.
That's it.
That's what you get with Lawrence. Business.
Yeah,
It's always
yeah.
business.
Irish charm. We're looking for devilment. That's what we're doing.
I'm going to ask you a serious question now.
Go on.
What do you like most about Sim Formula Europe? What's been the thing?
It's
You can't say people.
No, it's the atmosphere. It's the opportunity to have meaningful engagements with people, and that sounds very like canned and stuff, but it really is. Like at other expos, I mean the other expo, it's super busy, very very productive and all that. You just don't get to have the same kind of meaningful engagement as you do here. So the two are very much needed. This is a great community event. If I was to recommend to a community to go to one, especially if they've never been to an expo, this is the one. This is cheaper, more accommodation, easier to get to and all that. Dortmund one's amazing if you want to be blown away by hardware, new revelations and all that. It's excellent. I recommend that one too, but this one is great for community.
Yeah, I really like how it's a little bit calmer here, but you get more time to actually chat with the developers, software developers, the people working on the hardware, and you're going to get more time on the rigs and just get to know people better. And actually, I mean, yesterday we spent some time with Emil Bernstorff. So just random streamers here. Why is Random Corsa not here? Ricardo, what are you doing, man?
He's at home making lots of content about Evo.
Evo, making bank with Evo. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
capitalizing.
But
what would your video title be for Evo?
Evo. How Kunos dropped the ball with early access. Can Kunos recover? Did they recover? The path to recovery.
Yeah.
How they continued to make the same mistake with force feedback despite all the very well thought out complaints from Gamer Muscle with ACC. That might be the time. We've got plenty of this. It's going to be amazing content.
You've thought about this.
No, I was wrong. I regret hyping AC Evo. No, I'm quite excited for it. I think it's going to be fun to see how it develops when they fix the force feedback.
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, there are so many titles.
Yeah.
Kunos were wrong. Wrong about what? I need to watch this video.
Yeah. The title could just be Kunos ...
Yeah. Oh, Kunos.
Disappointed? ?
I love it, by the way.
He's got to say that because Marco starts shipping out horse heads.
Yeah, no, they don't know who I am. I'm not even on the radar, so I can say what I want.
Marco, put him on the radar. He needs to be receiving the horse heads in his bed every morning as well.
Well, now I've been talking to you, he's never going to send it.
Oh dear. Right, awesome to see you. I'll catch you later. We're going to continue on with our epic tour. Check out his book.
S is for SimRacing.
We're going over to, we've got ImSim rigs here. But before I do that, I'm just going to disappear. Goodbye. No, before we do that, we've already done Overtake. You missed it. Can we have another German interview?
Yeah, we can.
That was a German interview. I'll see you guys. I'll see you later. Right, before we continue to ImSim, I'm going to drag you guys really quickly through InterClassics here. So, this is an excursion. Obviously, as I said, InterClassics is a great way to see loads of vintage cars. This is probably one of the most elaborate carpeted car parks you'll ever come across, and really fantastic security. There's all these people looking at the cars as if they are wondering if they're going to go anywhere, but of course the cars don't go anywhere. They're just people looking at them. And the really funny thing with InterClassics is that if you come here in the morning, basically you just have loads of people with the cars, and they'll all be cleaning, wiping down the cars, which I imagine if you have one of these beautiful vintage vehicles, you would be, that's what you'd be doing, you know, you want it to look shiny, and to make a car look shiny, you're going to have to keep polishing it. I think these cars get more polished than they get driven. Look how many people are here. InterClassics is absolutely huge. You've got like 4 halls, and so this car's one of the best of the 70s. Look at this. It's a Alfa Romeo Montreal. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm just going to ruin that guy's photo. We've got a BMW motorbike. A BAC Mono. Last Garage. You could drive this in the simulator. We'll talk about that later. I'm going to take you guys. We're walking our way through all these cars as quickly as possible. We've got to keep this video under 2 hours. That's my goal. The insanity of these videos, guys. As we work our way through InterClassics here, I'll put you on egg cam. But InterClassics, actually, myself personally, I do prefer vintage cars to modern cars. I think vintage cars are just a lot more interesting to look at. You know, more interesting shapes, more sort of obvious mechanisms. They're not perfect. Oh, one more. Yes, yes! Woo! You've got some nice chrome. Here we go, look at this. Absolutely beautiful, look at that. Look at those reflections as well. A Maserati. You know, proper, hang on, this is more mine. This is more what we're talking about. A Jeep Wagner station wagon. This would be something that would be epic in BeamNG or Wreckfest. Look at that. That is a proper car. I can imagine that would have continued understeer, perpetual understeer. But look how much space it has inside. You've got no headrest on it, so your neck's coming off if you have an accident. Plenty of space in the back. Proper vehicle. Look how high up it is as well. Absolutely ridiculous. Oh, now we're talking. Bloody hell, look at this. Celebrating 30 years of InterClassics. Don't worry, we'll go around the other side of that, because the reason why I'm taking you through here is to not just give you a little highlight glimpse of InterClassics, which you do get access to as part of Sim Formula Europe, but to also show you a beautiful sim rig that's here. So look at this, Ford GT40. That is a proper race car. I mean, how have we gone backwards, guys? How have we managed to go backwards when it comes to race cars? Just, Tablot Lago T26C. I am not reading the names of the cars off a plaque. I knew that. I honestly knew that myself. Again, look at that. Absolutely gorgeous there. Look at the exhaust pipes coming out. You could going right past where the driver sits. Look how far back the driver is in the car, and then the way that you're driving this. If you get a chance in the original Assetto Corsa or some of the like Grand Prix Legends and the classic simulators, you can really somewhat, especially with the VR headset, you can get a good idea or a reasonable idea of what these types of vehicles are like to actually drive. And the fact that you sat so far back really impacts your perception of understeer, oversteer, and gives you a very interesting view of driving. Look at the lack of safety as well. You just have the seat is totally open, a little bit of glass to protect you from the wind and maybe some tyres flying in your face, but that's all you needed back then. You don't want to go too far with safety. We've got the Veritas 315. Again, look at it. Absolutely gorgeous. I think cars have gone backwards. I have to be honest. They've definitely gone backwards. But the reason we're here is because we not only have this absolutely beautiful Ferrari 250 GT with a really nice muted paint job on it. That's the focal point. This Ferrari, of course, is a nice budget car. I can see myself having 5 of these. I mean, look at that. Absolutely ridiculous, guys. I just linger the camera there. We'll do a little lift up. Look at that. But, crucially, as we push through the crowd, oh, hang on, we've got a nice Jaguar D-Type. I mean, you can see how you could come here. Come for the sim rigs, stay for the vintage cars. But that Ferrari, accompanying the Ferrari on display, we have the beautiful ImSim Gara sim rig. In amongst all the vintage cars here, look at this, absolutely fantastic. And what's nice is, because you've got this car here, it's amongst all the vintage vehicles, so you have crowds of people all getting to take in sim racing, introduce to sim racing, and then getting to experience a little bit of driving on one of the nicest looking sim rigs that you can get. We got some influencers here. Who's this?
SimRacing HQ.
And what do you do?
Nothing.
Who's this guy? What do you,
Race beyond matter.
and what do you do?
I do nothing.
Who's this guy?
I have to say I do something, otherwise my boss will fire me.
Well, I'm going to come back with that high energy response. I'm going to come back. I'm coming back later, and we'll do a separate video on this rig, guys. But I just wanted to show you it in the context in this walkthrough video. I mean, just look at that. I mean, honestly, it really does look absolutely fantastic. And it's one of those. The Gara rig is really nice because you can just jump onto it. Kids can jump onto it, adults can jump onto it. It's a really quick rig to adjust the wheel height, the pedal position, the seat position. And as you can see there, they have matched it up with a vintage Ferrari rim. I think it's a Thrustmaster Ferrari rim, but then that's attached to a Simucube. You've got a brake light on the back, that's nice, and a nice ultra-wide monitor. D-box motion on there, so you can feel what the car's doing. And I have to say, that kid is doing a decent job. I think they could take one of the cars from InterClassics and just drive it home. They'd have to wait till they get to Germany to drive at these speeds. Look at that. He's taken the final corners of Spa. We need to like intimidate him, so we're not going to have to race against this kid online because he's doing too good, far too good. But yeah, that's a look at the Gara rig in amongst all these beautiful classic cars, and we're going to make our way back to Sim Formula Europe, guys. But as I say, look, I mean, just look at this. There's just so much that you can see here. If you are a car fan, this is a awesome event to attend. Shall I put you back on egg cam? How are we doing? 46 minutes. I think we will manage to hit our target time frame for this tour. We're getting better at this each time we do them. SimRacing Expo tour, go and watch that if you haven't, but that was 4 hours long. The craziest tour we ever did was Gamescom last year, and I think that was 7 hours of this ludicrous type of content. So I don't think we'll do that again, unless maybe comment under the video if you would like to see us do that again. I know some of you guys just like to see me suffer, so you'll be like, yeah, go and do that again. That's a great idea. They don't even want to watch the content. Or we have here there's a little restaurant thing going on where you can have, of course, a sausage or maybe a waffle, because we are in Netherlands here. So let's keep going. But it is huge. I walked around, had a little bit of a walk around this yesterday, and I think we spent about an hour and didn't even really cover half of it. My focus was really looking at the vintage race cars. I missed it just now because it's a bit out of the way, but they have a really nice Lola on display. I absolutely love those vintage track vehicles, and I think vintage rally cars as well. Just that's where it's at. Here we go. Look at this, the Coupe Chateau, and it's nice. This is what you could drive. A good solid daily driver. You know a car's a decent car when you have a foot stand to get into it. That's oh, hang on. Before we get back to Sim Formula Europe, there is actually an NSU here. Here you go. These are superb. Just look at this. These cars are crazy. They almost look back to front with the way that they are. You can race these in RaceRoom, and it's some of the most fun vintage racing you can do in that simulator because of the amount of contact you can have. But these vehicles are ridiculous, like quite nimble, but also not at the same time. Kind of mini-esque in handling, but a little bit less rotating. But the really amazing thing with the NSU that I love is the fact that the engine is in the boot here, and then the boot is lifted up to allow the engine to exhaust and to cool. I like that. I think that should be. I mean, maybe it also provides a tiny bit of downforce. It's like a boot spoiler. So check these out in RaceRoom if you want to drive them, but the NSU, they've got the manual there as well. Look at that. Looks like something from East Germany. NSU 1000C TT, pure power. Right, let's get back into Sim Formula Europe, guys. That was the InterClassics excursion. Here is the rest of ImSim. We have another Gara here, this time in red. They've got some nice spotlights highlighting the rig. And look at that, no one's in it at the moment, but let me know in the comments. I honestly think that rig, the Gara rig by ImSim, is the nicest looking sim rig, and also one of the most open and accessible rigs on the market. So I'm surprised more companies haven't done something similar, because it really does stand out to me. You've got the original ImSim rigs here, or the design that they've been using for quite a while now. The Terra, again with D-Box actuators on the bottom. I think it's the D-Box 5 system. We've got some Hausenfeld. I know we've got the ImSim pedals, sorry, on there. Really nice ImSim Talento pedals. And a nice CSL DD force feedback wheelbase. And this is, again, it's very similar to the Gara in that you can get in and out of it very easy. Adjust the pedals, adjust the wheel position, nice and easy. And you've got the flight case over there, actually. You can see how they can be shipped around. So you find a lot of sim centres will use these, a lot for promotional use. And if you wanted a really nice, fancy looking sim rig in your house, well, you could also get one as well. So that's the ImSim booth there. Now, take a look on our left, we have the SimWear.eu with a really nice, modest Formula cockpit, something that everyone could fit in their sitting room. Who doesn't have space for this? Probably worth like 50 quid or something. Nice paint job on this cockpit, and weirdly as well, you do find when you sit in a rig like this, it does give you like a weird additional degree of immersion. Even if you're wearing a VR headset, you do get a good sense of like being sat in a Formula cockpit, just the position of your legs, position of your seat, and having the walls of the cockpit by your hands, and it all feeling rather compacted. So we also have here, if we go through SimWear EU, they've got some smaller rigs on display. Nice little Pimax Crystal there, for those of you that want to get high resolution VR. Hard for you guys to really see from the screen, but not that much VR at Sim Formula Europe. Again, the trade show in Chicago could be really good for that, with flight sims, VR and driving simulators. But the Pimax is one of the few VR headsets where you can just plug it into HDMI, whereas with the Quest 3, which I really like for VR, and I think is an awesome VR headset, a Quest 3, you have to use USB or virtual desktop, and so for trade shows it's not necessarily the best option. So here we have some Assetto Sim Sports, which is nice to see. La Prima. This is probably hard for you guys to see in the video because this wall is dark and all the things on it are dark as well. But a whole bunch of wheel rims. So SimWear EU, a reseller of a lot of different types of equipment. The SimMagic Alpha there, had a go with that recently, and feels absolutely superb. Really nice, informative force feedback. Super smooth with the SimMagic Alpha DD base. I quite like it actually. I think, but to be honest, like once you get past 12 Newton meters with the Mosers, the Fanatechs, the Acertechs, basically the difference comes more from the games themselves, and then the actual, the simulator that you're driving. The different wheelbases have different software to them. Some are a little bit easier, but I think it's more about the games, and possibly the different wheel rims is a big thing if you're choosing a wheelbase. There's the Forte here, Acertech Forte with the SimSport wheel rim on that. Really nice to see. We also actually, so I don't miss it, we have some button boxes here from Giza. Don't know if that's clear for you. Giza 3D SimRacing. They do a whole bunch of 3D printed button boxes. Check out their website if you need a custom button box. They also do. They do like wide button boxes, small button boxes, big button boxes. So you see a lot of 3D printing in sim racing. Here's the GT3. It's the Mustang GT3 Ford wheel rim there. Very pricey. £2,339 with some cube control wheels as well. 1,100, 719 for the basic one. It's very easy to spend an absolute fortune on sim racing equipment. VPG RSPG wheel there, £2,000. And the Stealth VPG, 1,749. Crazy, absolutely crazy. Let's continue on. So that was the simwear.eu. We have a little drinks and juices booth here. Very serious face from the drinks and juices. All right, so the drinks and juices stare down, guys. We have Zen Sim wheels here. We're just showing this off. Let's have a look at the rig. It's a nice little GT3 there. Driving around in a Assetto Corsa. Build for performance. Whoops, professional sim experience. Sim 1. That's a nice chonky sim rig. Formula position, or maybe, yeah, sort of a formula position with the legs really high up there. Not a bad rig, another steel tubular rig there. I think they're mostly got that rig set up for them to show off the Zen Sim wheels. Again, quite a few companies now doing high-end sim racing wheels, so lots of options. If you've got sort of mid to high-end direct drive wheel and you're like, oh, I want to burn through my bank account, well, also a surprising number of GT3 wheel rims as well. I'd quite like to see more classic style wheel rims or even more custom wheel rims. Got a separate button box there. I quite prefer having rather than having a display on the wheel, I really like having a display separate to the wheel, maybe above it, and that way when you're actually going through corners and turning, you you can read what's on the screen. If you've got a Formula rim, you can't actually see what's on the screen. What's this guy doing? What's this guy doing? Look at this. He's filming Beyond Matter. Forget Race Beyond Matter.
I tried to make free video from yourself. I have commented.
Third person. Hang on. This is like my experience. We can have a third person camera on camera action here. So this is what you get. This is what you get at Sim Formula. You get to be filmed whilst you're filming, and it all gets very confusing. Let me just zoom in on what he can see. If I come in here, I don't know if you guys can see. Oh, camera reception there. Yeah, it's I'm not sure how well that came out, but he's just gonna keep filming me. I don't mind. See you in a bit. Got an F2 car here, guys. Absolutely awesome. I'm not sure if we can sit in it. I think it's a 2018 F2 car. The only time I've driven these in a sim is the Assetto Corsa. I think RSS did one years ago. It might have even been this car, I think. Not this actual car, but this year of F2 car. F2 cars, I think they're awesome actually. I like F4 in iRacing. I think there was an F2 car there was an F2 car in iRacing, but I don't think it ever really got that popular. It was one of the older cars. Was it like I can't remember, Formula FBM or something? I can't remember, guys, but it's nice, really nice to see. Some race cars on display. We've got a go-kart over here. We've got a Jarno Opmeer clothing. If you want to look cool, if you want to be an e-sportler, and if you want to be just like Jarno. But the thing is, sim racers often get accused of being lacking in emotion, because a lack of emotion allows them to focus on racing and being precise. But Jarno here cannot be accused of lacking emotion. Just ask him a question. So, Jarno, what's your key to success? Yeah, he's, I mean, you can make of that what you will, but certainly a very dynamic personality, Jarno. Fantastic to have Jarno here at the Sim Formula Europe. Go-kart there. Let's continue on. Let's move away from the copyright music. So, this area here, we've got some more rigs. We've got the Tatara, I can always say this completely wrong. They have another really large rig set up, full immersion, full front cockpit. So here we go. What they've done is you can see they've lined up the front of the cockpit, or the real cockpit, with the wheels, so that the cockpit basically merges straight into the simulator. This is actually, it's a bit like if you were to get a wheel, you turn the in-game wheel off, so you've got your real wheel then becomes the wheel of the simulated car, and it actually adds a lot to the immersion. But this is taking it to the next level by having the Formula cockpit become the cockpit in the game, and then the wheels there. We try and stick this up here. You can see how much it lines up absolutely perfectly. This driver here breaking all the rules, driving around the track with no helmet on. So debris smacking him in the face, bugs hitting him in the face. He's totally fine with it. What a legend. But that's the Referox Formula cockpit rig. Obviously these sorts of things are used more for like promotional events and trade shows, and rather than you're not going to get one of them at home unless you're a complete crazy person. We have a Referox rig here, quite a nice shapely rig. Look at that. So you've got some motion actuators there. Nice open cockpit, reclined in a sort of more GT position, maybe not Formula, but GSI wheel rim on there. Again, more the sort of thing for trade shows than home use. So here it is from the other side, so you get a good idea what it looks like. The monitor wrapping over the top, they've got a separate monitor stand onto it. And then one of the things you'll find here is that they're running a lot of hot lap competitions. With the individual booths are running hot lap competitions, so if you come along, you can take part, you can do hot laps, you can get involved, and then you can win some prizes. Here we have the main esports stage. This is very awkward. I'm just going to turn this around so you can see we've got a crowd behind us. They're not actually filming something now. People are just using the seating to relax, really. But this is where, if you watch the live stream where they do the Sim Formula Europe event, where they were using the last garage. This is where they held it. So check out the replay of that live stream if you haven't. To describe the event, it's actually really cool. It was the first time that they've ever done an event where nobody had actually tried the simulator. So you had all these esports drivers driving a sim for the very first time, so you could really see how the drivers adapted to it, who got to grips with it quickly, who could perform quickly without the mega grind that you typically see a lot of with esports. So that was the Sim Formula Europe big event that you could actually enter as a general person. We tried. I think we qualified in the top 100 or something. Not good enough. You had to be in the top 5 to get through. Mitchie Hoyer, the legend, got second place though, which was absolutely awesome. Second place, Mitchie. But check out the stream of that if you want to see more of that. So what you can also do though, aside from that esports event, we of course have the last garage that they did the esports event in, but as someone visiting Sim Formula Europe, you can jump on and try it out. And of course, we've been driving this and giving it a go. Completely new physics engine. It's built on the Godot engine, graphics engine. Really nice Assetto Forte wheelbases, and absolutely fascinating trying out a simulator that's still very heavily in development. We got an interview with Marcel Offermans, the man behind this simulator, so check that out if you want to know more details about the last garage. In the corner here, we have a BAC mono. I've been calling it a back mono all these years, but it is BAC mono. Absolutely beautiful car, especially with this race livery on it. It looks like something from Wipeout on the PlayStation. Really nice, and of course this is a car that they put in the last garage, and they've really applied all the data from it, tyre data, all the specifics of the vehicle, and you can see when you drive the last garage how much has gone into it to try and replicate the nature of this real-world car. Well, either way, an absolutely gorgeous car that you can see if you come here, and you can drive if you come here in the last garage. I mean, it just looks great. This Alcantara or suede on the front here, though, that would not work very well in the UK. That would be soggy and mouldy within a week of ownership. But look at that, the cockpit, really nice wheel on there. Leather seat. You can tell this car is a car that's designed for people that have probably a little bit too much money and they just want to waste it or spend it, and spend it on something that is good for driving into a tree. This is also a road legal car, so this would be a fantastic vehicle to do your little shopping with, though you'd have to sellotape the shopping bags onto the mirrors because there's nowhere else to put them. But I like it, actually. Seeing it in person properly has been eye-opening to how much I actually quite like the shape and design of this vehicle. As someone that's normally more of a fan of like radicals and that type of vehicle. I think I still go for a radical though, because they're much more affordable, and yeah, I'd probably still go for a radical, but if I had money to waste, maybe a BAC mono. So we have here, on this side of the other half, we have SimRep, with them got some exploded wheel rims on display. Nice to see. Get a good idea of how these wheel rims are constructed. The rotary encoders, the LED lights, the display. It's quite a nice little demo case. Got the Cosworth wheel rim, and he's going to unveil the wheel. Oh, he knows who we are. It's very sad. Can you give us a quick rundown of the Cosworth wheel? Like really, like a 30-second. I'll hold the mic. It's all right. 30-second rundown.
Yeah, sure. Well, this is the original Cosworth Mark II wheel. It's being used in IndyCar, Super Formula, LMP2. It's the original enclosure, FIA licensed parts. It has also a license with Cosworth, obviously. Full carbon body. Yeah, it's mil spec, like everything is on here. It's even watertight, so if you're really sweaty in the sim, it's something you should consider buying.
So it's a total real deal.
Yeah.
Steering wheel, and what's the price?
It starts from 7,900, excluding VAT. And yeah, that's for just with the shifters. If you go with clutches, then you go up to almost 9,000. And if you want to have the extra option with the extra shifters on top, we're looking at 10 grand.
So basically, you could buy a Skoda Citigo second-hand with a bit of wear on it, or a steering wheel for your driving simulator.
Exactly. And I know what I should buy, so.
You would go for the wheel?
I would buy both.
Both.
I would put this in the Skoda.
In the Skoda? Yeah. Okay, awesome. Thanks for that little rundown there.
Yeah, thanks,
of absolutely fantastic middle aisle budget wheel rim there from Cosworth.
I have a little bit of a scoop.
Okay.
So if you know the Mark III wheel that's in the hypercars,
okay,
we're gonna have a consumer version.
Okay.
And it's gonna be full carbon, just like this.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be the price will be interesting for more people than having this, and it will be available for more people. So it will also have a Cosworth license on it. Full original built from original CAD files, so you will have the real deal, but not paying the full price for
Okay.
it.
Awesome, thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks.
Visit. So there you go. Exclusive, more Cosworth wheel rims coming, more affordable Cosworth wheel rims on the way. And in the meantime, we have the Cosworth wheel rim here on the Eau Rouge LMP2 simulator, which is a really nice sim rig. We've covered this before at expos in the past. The interesting thing with this sim rig is that the driver sits off to the side, and at the moment there's no motion actuators on it, but when they do have the actuators, they can configure the actuators so it accounts for the driver being sat at the side, and the slight difference that affects how the driver experiences the suspension compression as you go over curbing or undulations on the track. But it's quite an interesting sim rig in that regard. You're sort of getting into hyper niche territory, and Eau Rouge themselves, they do really sort of bespoke turnkey solutions and like really crazy rigs. Driver then sort of forming a position, of course, because it is a GT2. An LMP2 based on LMP2 cockpit position. Eau Rouge obviously have LMP2 drivers that help them configure the different sims on the market to set it up and get it, be it iRacing, R-Factor 2, they try their best to match it up, and also they like to use VR headsets with that rig, so you can really get into it, because you need a VR headset really to fully experience sim racing for maximum immersion. But with the again, even if you have a VR headset on, when I tried that Eau Rouge rig with the LMP2, even with the VR headset on, with the motion, you could feel the motion being slightly offset. It was quite interesting. Here we have the STL. What's a quick rundown? 30 seconds. What's the rig you got here?
We have the ActoRacer Ultimate on the left, the ActoRacer Mini on the middle, and the ActoRacer Lite X-Tron. It's the upgrade version. On the right.
What's the sort of standout feature of these motion rigs?
The Magic Alpha round wheel, P2000 wheels, and the most of them 7-day OF system.
And you guys have a lot of sim centres. I noticed you have some near Dortmund, some near the Nordschleife.
We have around the world over 40 centers in the moment.
Is that like internationally, America, Europe?
America, not at the moment, but we want to attach it. And we have some in Canarians, we have in this year on Mallorca, in Greece. We are attaching now the global world.
Sorry, I was filming the ceiling there, sorry guys. But yeah, so these rigs are basically used a lot for like training centres, sim centres, entertainment, and you can see that the motion's got traction loss, full motion for all the 4-point actuators, so you can have a really sort of crazy ride from it, get people to feel like they're having an extreme drive.
Yes, it's really, really hard to drive. You must explain the immersion of this motion system and the forces of the steering wheels and the brake and performance. It's hard to drive, but if you train it, you master it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much for that. So,
thank you much too.
See ya. So with those ActoRacer rigs, you can really see how we get you. Zoom in on the egg. Come on, camera. Egg away. There we go. With those ActoRacer rigs, you really can see how they'll be really appealing for stuff like theme parks, and if you want like a much more sort of immersive and exciting ride that's spectacular to look at and also spectacular to play. Personally, if it was me doing getting those types of motion rigs, I like to really dial them down and make it much more sensitive. For me, less is very, very much more when it comes to motion simulators. Of all the stuff there, guys, as we pretty much walked you through the entirety of Sim Formula Europe, of all the stuff, I have to say, for me, the standouts this year have been the Cooler Master motion rig with the Sigma Integrale.
The YouTube channel.
Yes, you're on the video now.
I'm on the video.
You're in the tour. Hello, what's your name?
What's your name again? Oh,
it's Game of Muscle.
Game of Muscle, man. I watched a ton of your reviews, man.
I'm sorry about that. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's nice, nice.
You're a subscriber to the channel?
Yeah.
Oh dear, I feel really sorry for you.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Thank you for watching me. Appreciate it. you're going to have to click the like button and subscribe to this video, but it's not out yet. So
When it's coming out?
maybe in a few days' time.
Oh, I'll go watch it then.
You look out for yourself. Comment under the video, it's me, with a timestamp, and I'll know it's you, and then we'll get. So there we go with a viewer here. So yeah, the Corner Master rig with the Sigma Integrale DK2, I thought was the best rig. That's my rig of the show for this. Also, just how it's set up, and of course, I'm a bit of an ImSim, as we say. I really love the sim rig. It's Game of Muscle videos. You're in the tour video.
Hello.
You're the guy that was in the car earlier. All right. Hello.
You guys.
You guys are all in the video now. You're in the tour.
Yo.
Thank you. I don't know what you say. That sounded like something else. We'll see how that translates. Love ImSim stuff. I've lost where we are. But so Cooler Master, though, was the winner of the show. For me, that is about it, really, guys. Let's have the Formula Classics behind us. So you can, with the NSU, there we go. This is where we can finish off. As Lawrence was saying, when we were talking to him earlier, briefly, the nice thing with Sim Formula Europe is that you do get a really good chance to chat to people, be them YouTubers, streamers, developers, people that make the hardware. It's a really nice, chilled out trade show and sort of social event. And also, what surprised me as well was the esports part of it was also really nice to watch. It was really fun watching Mitchie come second. I'm like Mitchie's biggest fan. But hopefully he doesn't watch this part of the video. That's just a bit weird. I hate Mitchie, he's terrible if you're watching. But I was really happy that he came second, and it was really fun to see them battling out in a new sim. So that was cool. And there's also a pretty decent crowd watching it. So yeah, a really good sim racing show to come to and just take all of sim racing in without too much noise. And then you can walk around the streets of Maastricht and have a waffle. What more could you want? But at 78 minutes, we've blasted through this tour. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully I see you here next year. But what you need to do, of course, if you haven't, is go and subscribe, click the like button, drop us a comment and say, "Dear God, I got to the end. I wish I hadn't." But until the next one, guys, thank you very much for watching. Happy tea drinking, take care, and goodbye. Can you fit a sim rig in a lift? Let's see, we've got the monitor mount, and it comes around at, no. To mount off. Oh. Whoa, rig. In the lift, there you go. Yes. It can be done. Goodbye. Goodbye, he's trapped. This is where he lives. Goodbye.